2015 will now come to order, and we'll stand, pledge allegiance to the flag in a moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right. I'd like to announce that there was one executive session that we held,
23rd.
23rd. It was in regards to our insurance meeting and personnel issues with decisions on that. The decision on insurance will be made later on tonight. This time we have recognition of visitors.
All right. Mr. Benner.
I just have one question tonight, and that was, do you have any newer ordinances that would vacate the T10 ordinance of December 1959? Do you have anything newer than that that would?
T10 ordinance of 1959?
Yes.
I'm not sure what that ordinance is.
I have the copy here, I can show you.
Oh, this is the adoption of the road.
Yeah.
Nothing to change the road.
No.
So there's nothing newer than that? Okay, that was my sole question. Thank you.
Okay. Roy and Sue Smith. Okay. Tammy.
Hi, my name's Tammy Mosbaum. I'm a Girl Scout leader for the junior troop in Duncannon. I am, every year we need a place to meet, and,
Those three.
sorry. And we used the rec room last year, which worked out really, really good for us. It was really a great place for us to meet. And we were hoping that maybe you would allow us to meet there again this year for Girl Scout season. We meet on Tuesdays for an hour and a half.
Karen, everything worked out okay last year?
Yes, Tim and I have been in contact. We've
Okay.
had several conversations.
No
We're fine
problem
with
with
that,
that?
yes.
Okay. Well, it's a pretty simple question, pretty simple request. What was the wish of the board?
I'd like to make the motion that we go ahead and allow the Girl Scout Troop 10627 to continue the use of the room here at the Township building.
I'll second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Scott?
Done.
Okay. Linda? Gals?
No.
Bob?
Yeah, Henry, this thing with the accident, you had a meeting with the state now, what came out of that?
Where's, pardon? On the mountain?
On the mountain, shutting the mountain down now.
Marysville?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was at that meeting up there. The requests were made and put forward to Mr. Tiplitz, which he said he was going to forward it to Department, I think, Transportation, and maybe put a letter on Mr. Wolf's desk and whatnot, although I don't know as to where it's going to go from there, as to whether they're going to shut that down. So those decisions are yet to be made by PennDOT, whether there's going to be any change or they're going to stick with their initial closing it all together.
okay, well, the next thing is, what's happening with bringing our township fire department back online? Because of incidents like that.
Well,
There's a gridlock on the highway, nothing's gonna get through. And we have a fire company sitting down there, that can't do anything for the residents.
give me a difficult question. Well, I do have an answer. And if you remember some time ago, I made a plea to sit down with the Perdix Fire Company to talk about resolving the issue. Okay. There was a meeting. their solicitor, our solicitor, myself, and Purdy's representatives. And they were supposed to get back to me 2-3 months and tell me what they were gonna do. There were some agreements to do. We've never heard a word. Not one word. That's as much as I can tell you. Okay?
May I ask a question on that, on Bob's statement? Were the other supervisors part of that?
No, they were not, Jess.
Okay.
That was the promotion that I put forward, said I would like to meet. Verdicts agreed, one-on-one, we sat down, and there was an agreement on both sides that it would be done that way. If it progressed further, then it would be brought out, see where it was at. So I promoted my ideas, what I thought I had, and the whole 9 yards, okay? It was presented both there like that. And incidentally, just so everybody knows, on the question like that, the nickel that was cost Mr. Wagner when I come my responsibility, it did not bear the burden of Penn Township. Henry Holman paid for that meeting on my behalf.
I just think the other two supervisors might want to get involved in this so they know what's going on, because you're going to be history in January.
Well, that may be so, Jerry, yes, but
Yeah.
we didn't hear nothing back. And so
Okay.
there was an opportunity for a response. We haven't heard it.
Okay, all right. I'd like to see some
Okay.
more involvement there.
Involvement starts with verdict.
No, I meant from the other supervisors.
You had to start somewhere, Jess. No other supervisor made the introduction or made the offer that I did. I made that alone.
Well, let me interject there. He made the decision alone. I was not aware until that meeting that such an offer was being put forth. So I was not given an opportunity to share in that. When I did question, it was made known that he was going to negotiate something, well, he
I
was
didn't
going to,
negotiate
he
nothing.
was going to put forth his ideas to the Portage Fire
I did.
Company, and he didn't want to muddy the water by having too many hands in the pot.
And that was agreed to by
That's
both
it.
sides. That was agreed to
And
by
I-
the attorneys on both sides,
Let me
yes.
finish, and that's exactly what took place,
That's right.
is that way we could have a clear-cut path without muddying the water.
That's right.
Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct, yes. Okay?
Craig?
Nothing too significant tonight. Last month I had put forth a copy of an email correspondence from the Assistant Chief at Holy Spirit EMS regarding the ALS, the Advanced Life Support Paramedic Response to the lower piece of Penn Township and Perdix. That's the Firebox 209. We had originally discussed back in April, March or April, I believe, keeping things as they were with the Cumberland Medic, Cumberland ALS unit responding from Hamden Township for that area. That was our recommendation prior to talking to Holy Spirit. Their recommendation with the changes in Marysville is to have the Perry truck, the truck that's stationed with us, Paramedic 81, respond to that area. We honestly are good either way. I think it's a matter of it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Whatever the supervisors want to do. The only caveat I think to that is that when and if something happens with Marysville's ambulance, if Marysville puts an ambulance back in service either by the borough, by the fire department, or by a third party, that may change again. So it's really up to you what you want to do. We're comfortable with as it is. We're comfortable if you want to change it. I think Holy Spirit, just for consistency with us, the rest of our area, including Watts Township, New Buffalo, Penn Township, Wheatfield, Reed, Buchanan Borough is covered by the Perry County truck. My concern when we discussed that originally was that truck's returning from a call in Millerstown or a call in Liverpool, it's kind of got to be chasing us. So those logistics I think we can work out, but it's just a matter of communication for the most part. But whatever the supervisors want to do, we'll be happy with. As always, we appreciate the residents and the supervisors' ongoing support. Should there be anything you need from our agency, please let us know.
Next, Helen.
Cece?
Yes, two things. Everybody always likes to jump on the bandwagon of people going fast on the road. I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon. You can tell that the fall sports have started at school. The stop sign at the bottom of the schoolhouse may as well be removed. They don't stop at it anyhow. Even though the speed limit on schoolhouse is 5 miles an hour, higher than what it is on 11 and 15, they're doing way more than 40. somebody's gonna get killed. For what it's worth, they're flying on the back road. It's only gonna get worse. Speaking of the back road, any update on the pipe situation?
Cece, when I get Linton Hill done out here, ready to I told you I would be working on that project. I was down, measured it, took everything that I need down there. I gotta get, the rain has held us up so bad on getting this road prepared out here to get paved. And I got a contract to meet with them, those people out there. You're right out there, we're filling in wherever we can. It's one of those projects that I hope to get done this year.
I hope so too, because that letter from PennDOT mandating that be done was 3 years ago. And I'm about to lose a shed, which I will hold the township fully responsible for if I do. Because this has not been taken care of. The sinkhole on 11 and 15 is once again open, and PennDOT is well aware of it. It's growing more and more. It was not helped at all last Monday by all the traffic that we had with the wreck on 322. I'm just saying, when that backyard goes down, somebody will wish that something had been done before 3 years had lapsed. I would have expected Linton Hill be done, and also that this project on Schoolhouse Road, my understanding that this get done while school was out. Now, we've been talking paving project for how many months?
When the weather keeps you from working out there, Cece, you can't work out there.
God, Henry, how much rain have we had?
We've had a lot, let me tell you. We just had one come Sunday night that filled the culverts up the streams, the road out, and worse. They had terrible rain out in Linton Hill. When we went out there, you can't believe what was out there. We didn't get so much of the cove, but we sure had it out in Linton Hill. And everything, there was no water in any of the culverts, and it's running hard now. And some of the neighbors out there, I was out there talking to about, they got that concern out there. I have to get that done to meet that contract, and I'm working on it the best we can. And we'll be out there every day next week. We're finally getting a decent shot of weather.
I must be living in the wrong part of the township for rainfall, I guess. I don't know. But paint's gonna be wore off for the PA1 calls before anything ever gets done, so.
Well,
guess I'm
Cece,
just
maybe
not the
after the
right
beginning
person
of
to
the
get
year,
something
I'm sure
paid.
it'll be done instantly for you. How's that?
What's that?
I said, maybe at the beginning of the year, it'll be done instantly for you. That's a pretty difficult project down there, and when I start on it, I want to stay on it. And I'm not going to go into detail how that letter happened to be generated by PennDOT or anything else. I'm going to keep that to myself.
Well, you don't have to, because I was in on that meeting from PennDOT.
I understand.
And I'm the one
I'll
that
leave
gets
it at
held
that.
liable if something's
So-
not done. So,
I'd done all the legwork that we could on that down there, and haven't got it done, Cece.
I guess I'm just not the right person to get something done in the
Well-
township. That just really irritates me.
You'll see us down there working on it, Cece, as soon as I get this road out here ready. We'll be there this week out at Linton Hill every day out there. Hopefully I could call Randy and tell him that the road's ready to go. There's a good bit of work to do that out there. Not only do I have our Penn Township residents to do out there, we have some bad driveways and et cetera coming down from the other side from Now, the township themselves cannot go in there and do work on that side of the road. So if you go out there and take a look, you'll see Henry there with his own personal hoe on his own personal time, fixing some driveways up to make it better for Penn Township and for those people that are coming out, which otherwise you won't even be able to do a half of a job on it. But I'll be out there doing that for those people. There'll be no cost to the township. That has to be done also. Same way when we paved down in Purdy's. I spent an awful lot of time on a lot of private property, but I done it with my hoe and my time to make it better access for everybody. I'm trying to get that decent road out there and get Penn Township out of the dirt. And that'll be the last one, then we'll be out of the dirt.
If I can inject something here. I remember some months back, it was offered that maybe coming out some Saturday to take care of that.
No, it wasn't.
But
Wasn't for that project.
okay, well, that was I thought there was two. There was
That was
one.
potholes, that's a wrong
one
end of
end.
schoolhouse
Correct.
road.
And then I thought there was an opportunity that maybe a Saturday was offered. And why I put that out is if we can schedule a Saturday where we can go out there and do it, I volunteer my time to come out and help. So
That
we
was
can get
filling
that project
potholes,
done.
that was something
That
too.
was-
No, I'm just saying, if we can schedule a Saturday to come out to get this taken care of for you, I volunteer my time to come
That's a
out.
week's worth of work,
Okay.
at least, at least a week's worth of work. It's one when you want to start on, you want to stay on till you're done.
Mr. Rudy?
The last time I was here, I think it was about 3 years ago, and I was asking you what you'd like to see in the business campus out here, and nothing much has happened. I'm not here to report what's happened so much, but it is in your township, and I think, Henry, you said to me that you guys would not hold anything up, but we haven't had anything for you to hold up at this point. But I wanted to just report to you that we've had 7 people on the board resign. So there's gonna be a change in the board, and as that change occurs, they're gonna be looking for, I guess, some support from y'all to see if we can't get that business campus filled. It was put in there, I think, over 10 years ago, and at this point in time, there's 2 businesses in there, and I'd love to see it filled for the benefit of Penn Township, for the benefit of Perry County, for the benefit of all of us. And so I just wanted to kind of let you know that's where we're at. Our solicitors resigned, everybody's resigned, except 2 people. And we are now in the process of rebuilding that board and attempting to see what we can do to make that happen. So if you know anything you can do to help us, great.
Everything that you've got up there, you had full cooperation in the past, right, even down to the Mallard trucking that a lot of people opposed, that we had your support all the way through. We granted everything that needed to be granted for that up there, Paul.
Well, I don't want to go back to that, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to tell you,
Yeah.
going forward, we're really, I think you're gonna see some changes, and I hope to see some movement.
Yes,
And you will definitely be involved in that, because nothing can go in there without you,
okay.
okay?
Well, I take notice, I had a report here, but since you're on, and I'll take it at this time right up front. I have the picture, I see now we have one of our people that's on our Economic Development Committee that I asked to be created, John Gerner, and I see Mr. Peters is now on your Perry County Economic Development Authority Experience and Growth. So I don't know why we can't have a report back here every month for the Penn Township Economic Development Committee, because this one was developed, and Mr. John Gerner is on that one here also, is he not, Mr. Lindquist? We had a kickoff meeting on it as to why it was asked for and created Penn Township. And it was asked for because we had so much opposition to our comprehensive plan, to our upgrade on everything, and the Penn Township Planning Commission and supervisors are holding up economic progress in Penn Township. And I've asked for a committee to show us where that's taking place. And we get blamed for this business not coming in. I have people approach me that they've approached who had control of it up here. They were told why they can't come in up here. They don't understand that. We've had a lot of inquiries myself. It's out of my control what takes place up here until there's a plan comes in here, someone wants to come in, Paul. You acknowledge that, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely,
And I just
that's
wanted to-
correct.
You're right, you read in the paper that it's
That-
actually, I want to make sure that there's an understanding here. I was talking about the corporation which has responsibility
Yes.
for filling that.
I understand
The
that.
authority,
It's-
John Gerner is on the authority.
Authority, right.
And Brian is on both of them.
On both.
So I think that we have some connections that should allow you to have current information.
Yeah.
most of the time.
I mean, I hear of all these businesses who want to come in up here, and Penn Township supervisors, planning commissioners are the ones that's turning away. It's not so.
I know, and that's what we're trying
Not
to
so.
get to now, is exactly what can go in there, what
Yes.
cannot, and how we make it happen.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, because I too seen that set there a long time.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Stanley?
Yeah, a couple questions. Henry, last month, Chief Pickles, I asked about the emergency management plan,
Mm-hmm,
and he said that the supervisors had a copy of that and had gone over it.
mm-hmm,
I just wondering where that's at.
okay. I was given it, I reviewed it, I find nothing wrong with it, I find it acceptable, I can't speak for the other two supervisors, if it's acceptable, it'll be put in place.
Okay. Is the public gonna get a chance to view that before it's approved?
Probably not, once it's in place, the basic plans can be viewed. The other plans can't be viewed except, for people that work in that area. It has phone numbers and contact information, stuff that isn't to be gotten out.
Can't redact that?
Oh, no, those are separate plans. The basic plan will be viewable. That's what I mean, the separate ones won't be viewable. But yes, the basic one
The
would,
basic plan would be viewed.
from what I understand, yeah.
Prior to?
No, probably not prior. But it's updatable. I mean, it's definitely updatable if there's any problems or concerns.
Why update when you can do it before it's updated? And heaven forbid the public gets to see it ahead of time. Henry, I'd like to thank you for all your years of donation and putting time in and using your backhoe and things like that. And every year, at least one meeting a year, I come up with what's gonna happen once you're gone. The family not running this year, family gonna be gone. Scary thing is, all these free things that you do and you donate your time is now gonna have to be paid for somehow or another. Like I said, I bring it up every year at least once. So, budget time's coming on for the new year. I didn't know if the other two supervisors had thought about that at all, and, what kind of cost is it going to be to hire a road manager, or whatever your title is right now?
My title's Township Supervisor, Stanley, and I know, I see here in the paper, I have it in here, I was absent for a couple of months due to some deaths in the family and et cetera. And I apologize to the people for that, so I wasn't here. But I did follow the newspaper and looked at the minutes and everything that was here, and I had some other answers that I believe went unanswered on there. But I take a look at that in there, it says that we were in a terrible mess because we need a township manager, and there's a statement in there where Mr. Peters said he was told there'd never be one. I want everybody to know it didn't come from me. I did not say that, never did. But I do disagree with it, because I can't see paying somebody to do the job that we were elected to do. That's my opinion on that. We were elected to do this job and said faithfully and took an oath and obligation that we would do it.
To do what?
What's
Run
that?
To run the road crew?
Hey, they have for years. Supervisors have done that for years.
And for years, there were people that did, you had out there in the road crew.
You know what I'm saying? You have the option out here, making a road foreman out here. Whatever they wish to do out there. If you're going to do that, and you want to put a township manager on, then right now, people need to start taking a look at it and say, where is this money going to come from? And explain it to the people of the township where it's coming from.
Well, I've been asking you that for the last 5 years, telling me at least once a year, where's the money gonna come from?
Because if I
you're
fi-
doing it for free, so it's not fair to the other two supervisors once you're gone, because they're gonna look like the idiots. And that's what's gonna happen. And right now you're already saying it. You're sitting there going, well, they can volunteer.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
They're not-
saying
Are
that
they roadmasters? Do they know what to do to build a road?
they're going to have the option to hire whoever they want.
I
They're going to have the
understand
option to change about whatnot. If I haven't seen anybody, Stanley, that proposed or asked for an increase or anything other than you mentioned it by any supervisor on this board ever come budget time. I'm sorry.
That's not my fault. Every year I bring it up.
It takes three people to pass the budget.
I understand that. This year, it's gonna come to be that you're not gonna be here.
Only if you guys go crazy and want to spend more money than what you got. We got CDs, the township's healthy, Stanley. We bought and paid for new trucks. We're putting air conditioning in this, which is a long-range plan, and we're covered good. If you want to go out here and spend more than what your revenue is coming in, that's not my fault, because I won't be part of that, and I haven't been. Same way with my household. If I spend more money than I got coming in, I get in trouble. And our CDs are good, our capital reserve is good, and we're good. And we're paving roads like we've never paved before. And our liquid fuels account's is big. That's good management.
Everything you're talking about, Henry, that is what I'm talking about. I was talking about.
I'm
what's
telling
gonna
you,
happen
good
when you're
management will
gone.
still keep it going, Stanley.
What are we spending on a police department a year? 250,000, 265,000?
Nope, not in Penn Township, we're not. What did we spend when we had one man, by golly, and a part-timer? What did we spend then, Stanley? Tell me, what did we spend for one full-time police officer and a part-timer?
It was over 100,000, I believe.
About 129,000. And they burned every penny of it, and we got nothing out of it. And now you got 24/7 for another 20,000, and you guys are having a fit. Seems that you know that's what we paid, and they burn all that budget.
I just want to go back to my original question.
Sure.
I don't want the other two supervisors, once you're gone, and they have to fill your position, taxpayers, and they have to raise taxes, a possibility, or cut services somewhere, that these two guys are gonna take the hit for it.
Why would you have to cut services, Stanley? Where's this big additional increase of money that you're going to see have to go? You plan on hiring someone?
I'm planning on hiring
Well,
anybody.
that's what I'm saying. If it stays the way it is and the things run and managed the way it is now, there's no need for a tax increase. We have a surplus at the end of every year out of our budget.
Are you gonna continue to volunteer your backhoe and your time?
Jesse, go
Well,
ahead.
yes or no first, and then.
What's
you
that? I'll tell you what. You've never seen me turn my back on anybody in this township, in the cove, or anywhere else that came and asked me for help that I wasn't there. And that continues before and will continue after.
Okay, that's what I wanna hear.
You know what I'm saying?
Then maybe we won't have to increase taxes.
That's up to you guys, whatever you do. I'm gonna offer at the end of the year what I have. If you want it, you can use me. If you don't have to.
So I think what Jesse and Stan's question is to the board, are you going to continue in the capacity that you are as in roadmaster and doing what you're doing now for the same thing that you're doing now as donating your time?
You have to understand, by golly, that's not my decision. That's 3 new supervisors that make
Okay,
that
well,
decision.
but is that your intention?
My intention is to leave here, and if I'm asked to help, I'll help. And if I'm not, I won't.
So my question is, are you willing to work and stay in that capacity as roadmaster?
Yeah, because the capacity of roadmaster out there, if you want to do something like that, is you gotta remember one thing. How much am I getting paid? How many knows?
Well, no, that's what we're
Wait a
asking.
minute,
If
wait
you're
a
going to
minute, wait a
continue
minute.
volunteering.
I'm gonna ask you a
I hear
question.
that all the time. I understand you get paid for 20 hours a week, you don't get paid very much, 13 months an hour or something like that. We understand all that.
And I only
The
did that to
public
cover my
understands
gas.
all that. I understand all that.
You want to
And
stop?
that's what I'm talking about.
If you guys
At this
want-
point, you're working 30 hours plus a week, getting paid for 20, not getting paid what it's worth. I understand all that. I appreciate all that. The taxpayer appreciates all that. But if you're not here, beginning of next year, then who's gonna be running that job and what's that gonna cost the township? That's my question.
Well, I'll tell
I
you
don't
what,
need all the
Stan.
political answers and all that kind of stuff.
At the end of the year, you'll be given a full report. You'll have it laid out, by golly, a budget item, by golly, for a new road, what roads can be done, where you can spend the money. I'm not gonna hang anybody out dry and shove something on somebody that they don't know what's going
No,
on.
you
I'm
won't
not
be.
gonna do
You
that.
won't be, because you're still gonna be here in that capacity till the end of the year. It's your job.
That's
to do
correct.
that budget this year. I
But-
understand that.
But what I'm gonna do is leave everything there, as whether they follow it or they don't, that's up to somebody else. But I'm not gonna walk away from it and not prepare a budget for a road, and not gonna say, I don't care who you pay or what you pay. I'm gonna give you what I have planned out, the same as this heating system here, but you're gonna hear something tonight.
I'm not talking about all this stuff. I'm talking about you.
Yeah, me,
You,
depends on
the
3
job
other
you-
supervisors standing, the only way you can do it.
That's.
I can't
got a
tell
political
them that.
answer, Henry, that's fine. I'm sorry. Sorry you brought it
No.
up.
No, you
Sorry
brought it
you
up.
brought it up. I don't want to hear anymore.
You brought it up.
I think probably,
I said it. I'm sorry I did.
I think probably the question is, are the other 2 supervisors qualified to do what you do? Do they know what needs to be done to get this project done? that project done? Or are they going to need to go to somebody else and say, hey, what do we do here? I think that's probably the issue.
I don't know how I can tell you anymore that when the board changes, that if someone says, Henry, will you come in and do this road contract for me? I'll do it for you, won't cost you a penny.
So you're not gonna continue the capacity that you are, going out every day, working with the crew. The snow, no, we're gonna be in January with snow removal. Now we have to find somebody to run that crew.
I will up till the last day, and I will help so you guys can come out afterwards.
So the answer is, we will have to prepare for a roadmaster or we will have
That's
to.
fine that you're willing to come in and do that.
That's right.
But
Never said no.
what about legality of that? If something you recommended fails, who does that fall on? Does that fall to supervisors? Because you won't be employed. You're doing it volunteer.
Well, now, if you're gonna,
You know what I'm saying?
you want me to do it 100%, I'd like to have at least done 2 hours a day.
Well, but I'm
That
just
covers
saying,
my gas because I use my own trucks, my own vehicles all over the township. If you want the help's there. I'll put it to you there. If you want the help's there.
But what happens in some situation if your health doesn't hold up?
Well, I guess we all got that question, you know what I'm saying? I'd say for 70 years old, I maintain my CDL, my flying license and everything else. I'm in pretty good shape.
But you
And I
can't-
like to work.
These guys can't count on that though.
Well, that's up to them then. They gotta make that decision,
Are
not
we even
me.
thinking about that yet?
You know,
There's
whatever.
not too many more months left to the end of the year.
Well, that's their decision what
That's
they're
what
gonna
I'm
do.
asking,
Yeah.
you guys thinking about this?
Yep.
Nobody's asked me what I'm gonna do or anything until tonight. I thank Stanley for asking.
That's what I bring it up every year, because
No, you asked me whether, the one I'm answering is not about the tax money or what about the increases, whether I'm gonna work and help. I thank you for asking that, very much. To answer your question, Stanley, maybe more detail, to give it to you out here, there's some things that, yes, I would like to do that I was going to ask the board at the reorganization meeting. One of them is the tin and lumber and stuff for the roof out here, which I have the capabilities to put on out there because they didn't tend to the aluminum roof, left the snow guards tear out and rotted the whole bottom out. I have the means to get that up there and the means to do that. I budgeted the plans by golly for the overhang out over the far end of the garage out there. We get more equipment in for an overhang out there. The walls are laid there for the footers and whatnot. I also got 60 miles of road out here to plow snow, take care of it the best we can. And we do that the best we can.
Do we have enough people in that department, in the road department?
The same amount we've always had. I guess, yes, I feel we do. We've always been covered on the snowplow. We've always had snowplow drivers. We've always got enough labor out here to get the job done along the roads, yes. Weather's a big impact that we have. And it's, the heavy storms the last 2 years have been pretty tough, let me tell you. They really impact you. You get a heavy storm like that, and the next day you're out cleaning all the grates and all the gutters and all the culverts open for the next one. A couple days later, you get another. So, answer your question, yes, I'm a volunteer, and I'll be around if you guys want some help from me.
Thank you.
Debbie, do you have any? Yeah, that's Holly. Debbie Karagas?
Yes.
Okay, do you have anything other than your variance request?
No.
Okay, that's on the agenda. Mr. Fickle?
not this time.
Bob Johnson?
Not at this time, thank you.
Luke Roman?
Nothing.
Who else do I have? Jesse?
Any response to the question that was going to be looked into last month about the UCC electrical inspection?
Yes, Jesse, I'd like to address that, okay?
Yeah.
I see there was a lot of questions that I think that wasn't, and I'd like to take care of them now so when we get into the business of the meeting, we can move ahead, you know what I'm saying? I do have one there. You take a look at the Marstella thing down there. That is a portable unit that moves in there on wheels, is set up right and plugs into a panel. I'd like to ask Helen to read the section out of the UCC code as to how it applies.
Okay, it's under section 105 of the IBC, International Building Code. Under work exempt, electrical repairs and maintenance, minor repair work including the replacement of lamps or the connection of approved portable electric equipment to approved permanently installed receptacles.
And that's what you have down there, Jesse. They bring that in there, it's pre-wired, it's about like a modular home, it comes in already approved, they plug it in. Personally, take a look at it, I don't see that there was, and so there was no requirement for it down there because that previous panel was there in prep for this, for
And
it to be.
it plugged right into the
It plugs
existing
into the
service.
panel that's there. Yes, sir, they pull that plug out, lay it down, and tow it away on the wheels. Am I not right, Scott?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Was that wire in there before that run over to that new plant?
Absolutely.
That quadruplex?
I don't,
Carrying the 4,880 volts over?
it was ready to be plugged in. It was a pre-wired unit.
I don't doubt that.
So what the question is, when like Stanley buys a freezer and brings it in and it gets hardwired in, I'm assuming he gets inspections on them? UCC inspection?
If it's a new piece of equipment, yes. Outside of his building, yes.
Because like when the LED lights got put on and stuff, you've gotten inspections for them? And I know they've been working up there over the last year or two, electricians doing wiring, because part of it gets billed to Municipal Markets or part of it gets to the building entity that owns the end of the building. But I'm assuming all that gets inspected as well when those changes in wiring is done.
If I'm replacing lights now.
So those LED lights that were changed and stuff, wouldn't that not be? And then if you would bring because I understand you updated some freezers or whatever over the last couple of years, I would assume they got all inspections. Because they would be wired in just like my plant would be.
That was 7 years ago, I'm sure they were.
Okay.
But replacing LED lights from the inside of the building, no.
Let's not get sidetracked from where we're at here.
The point of it is it was a pre-wired thing. It was brought in, it was hooked right into the power. It's a done deal. It was done absolutely to code. And
What was done to code?
I don't understand that because I also had some idiot call the township and say the one plant was leaning. And it is absolutely unbelievable that of all the things you drive on down 11 and 15, there are tarps over houses, there's grass that's growing 3 foot high, there's houses half done, and the people at this meeting feels that the most pertinent issue is whether one of the successful businesses in the township has gotten a UCC inspection, because so what would happen if you say, oh, I didn't get it, and we argue and the lawyers argue and say, well, I do need an inspection. It's a $100 inspection, it would come in, they would sign off of it, and it would be done. It wouldn't shut me down. I have no idea what the point of it is. You drive down 11 and 15 and it's a hog mess, and you come to us and we've spent millions of dollars to make our facility nice, and yous are coming and you're whining about this. I just don't understand it.
I'm not whining about anything that's going on with Mr. Marcel. Nothing at all.
We've done everything.
Excuse me, I'm talking while you're
We've done everything right.
My point is that
We've gone above and beyond what we needed to
the
do.
inspection deal, for one, has not been
And
the
so
same as
can we
everyone
research
else.
what Municipal's inspections are over the last couple of years of when
There's
these
no
LED?
requirement. Fernley set a portable one up there. There's no difference than if I bring a piece of equipment up there in addition or something and bring it in the farm that's already pre-wired or whatnot, just, it's exempt in the code.
So you're saying
in
if I
his
buy
case,
a
he's
refrigerator and bring it in and
exempt.
plug
It's
it in
right
my
there.
house,
I
that
spent
I've gotta
enough-
get an inspection?
Enough
Is
time
that
to
what-
take a look
I
at
don't
it.
think anybody wants
If there
that.
was something that was required or had to be done, I would see that it was done. But he's exempt.
I talked to the electrical inspector and I asked him about it, and he said he.
Do you have nothing else to do in your life to think about
Okay,
whether I got
stop.
an inspection or not? I mean, it's idiotic. When there's so many things else going on in the township, and then you're screwing around one successful business. I have a payroll of over $1 million of people that are now in Penn Township that 3 years ago weren't. And all I get is whining about the most minute things. We've done everything right and gone above and beyond on everything we've done. We've had all the permits, we've had emails back. The one time you were in here and complained about our sewer, we had everything to the T, but the idiots, nobody looks and researches. I mean, it's getting pretty old that I have a successful business in the township, pay above average wage, and then turn around and they're nitpicking on what would be the difference if I get a $100 inspection or not? You're not gonna shut us down. I mean, it's just idiotic. Why the point? And Henry, you've elected these 3 people, and these 3 people have said it's fine. Or at least one of them, the chairman has. And he's come out, I've personally showed it to him, he read the code, it's plainly. And I don't think that you want to go to the solicitor and say to try to research to get me, at the end of all this would happen, we'd spend thousands of dollars on lawyer's fees, and at the end, even if you win, you'd get a $100 inspection to sign off to say it's perfectly done.
Okay.
And if that's him one thing, I don't know how I got involved in it.
Okay.
Because I think you
Done.
as a senior
Scott,
person in the township, we should use you as example. So if you put LED lights up without inspections, that means I can put LED lights up without inspection. That's exactly the same. If you put a freezer in without an inspection, then I can do that without, because we look to you as the elder business owner in Penn Township. And I just want to make sure that not everybody's talking about Marsteller, that we also talk about matzo balls. If I see something going on at matzo balls, I would expect inspections to be done, just like if I do it.
okay.
I think everybody agrees with that.
I think
It
enough
should be
said.
fair.
I'm gonna ask for a little calm here and move on to something else. I've done the best I could, Jess, to make sure that everything down there is right.
And that's all I ask.
Okay?
That's all I ask,
where
and
we're at.
thank you for the answer,
Okay.
and I'm sorry if it caused him
Okay,
heartburn.
so,
We will push back if we get pushed.
okay. I will say one thing. It's great to see them come in there small. They have 35 full-time employees. There's a lot of earned income tax coming into this township, plus other taxes that comes from that down there. We got some local people that really have good paying jobs for the first time in their lives. And some of them live real close to me. They're very grateful for the way they're treated, and I've talked to them about it. So there is a lot to be said. It's kind of hard to beat up on a man when we're all saying that we need economic growth and development in the township. Here it is, and then it's a sad thing. It is the way it is. But let's move on to that. I do have some other questions, Jesse, just like yours, and other ones that I don't know that were answered. I'd like to drop back on the linker thing, clear up some misconfusion, and some of it's in the record here that I got, whatever took place at that meeting and I wasn't here. I would like to say in regards to linker, he came before this board of township, and Cece was here, and he asked for a variance and whatnot, and submitted a plan down there, and that hearing, he was granted that to do. But that did not give him permission to go do what he was supposed to do. He needed a plan. But he went ahead and done what he did on his own. Now, Helen does have the cease and desist order there that says that he has to get in compliance with DEP. So it's DEP and them that's working that out down there now before he can get a zoning board. Now, I have no knowledge of a zoning permit obtained to date, and what he's conditional use when he had the hearing for it was granted, yes, but what was missing was a follow-up plan. And he continued on. And we have another one here like that. Same thing. I'm going to bring it out here tonight before we get into the business of this meeting. So at the present time, she has that. There's a cease and desist on him from them. Now you got someone that says, I don't have a cease and desist, wants to do what he wants to do. And then I get all kinds of calls, got to send the law officer down, the coding department down there, to finally get him to where it's at. It's between him and DEP now. He has to get cleared away with them, whatever they're going to do. We have heard nothing, have we, Helen?
No.
So it's out of our hands at the present time. But that information and that paperwork is here, all in order. That was all taken care of. There's nothing there that the ordinances are not being enforced, or some are getting special treatment or whatnot. In this case, it's done properly, it's all there. I spent a lot of time making sure what I'm talking about I'm correct. So that's what I have to offer on that linker thing. It seems to be an awful lot of confusion. The other one was, it seems to be there was a big issue about the Porta-Johns and Peggy's Antique. The answer was not given to you. It should have again. Peggy's Antique did not have a porta potty down there or a Porta-John down there because DEP denied it. We have the paperwork. DEP denied that. said no. And then there's reasons for it, there's other specifications that we'd have to have for that business. So it wasn't Penn Township that denied him and held this man up for them, DEP did. Paperwork's here to prove it. I could sit here and go through this all night, but if you want to see it, come in, ask Helen, she'll gladly show it to you. So that's what took place about that. She has the paperwork, and then there's an exception in there on construction, that the construction workers, like the school and et cetera, Jess, you and I worked on big construction site. We have porta potties around, by golly, that we ordered for our men. You have 160 men out there, and they all use porta potties. It takes a lot of them. And never did I know of anywhere where I was general foreman or I was running that show down there that I ever had to get a permit from any municipality or whatnot, because you're exempt on a construction site. There's no requirements for it. That's how that works there, okay? The other thing of it is, I drive by, I don't look for trouble, but I come down by the Middle Cove Church. They set one outside there for the pavilion use there for the Golden Agers and everybody that uses that pavilion free down there, okay? So they set one down there. I went to Nala Kaufman, she came up today, and I informed her, she comes to get a permit, it won't cost her anything, she needs to get it for a special event. The reason being that they put them in there, when they open up the church doors to use the bathroom inside the church, and there's nobody there to watch the group, there's been some problems. So they don't do that if they don't have a representative there from the church, they put a porta potty in outside. Well, I followed up with them, she got a permit, it's here for us tonight to be approved, subject conditional of a signature from her pumper. Do the best you can, Jesse, to make sure that this is right.
Well, that's your job.
Point of clarification,
Yes, Cece.
who asked for that porta potty to be delivered to Middle Cove Church?
Someone had to do that from the church.
Okay, it was my understanding the day it was delivered, Chief Pickles was out there and said Henry's porta potty showed up because of the men's breakfast.
No, sir. That was there way before that. That was there during some of the programs they had earlier on in the summer, Cece. It's been there for quite a while. They were totally unaware of it. I come up and asked Helen, I said, Helen, do they have a permit? She said, no. I immediately went down to Nala and saw her. And so they were good enough to come up and get it.
Gosh, it's funny how things change. Blink of an eye.
And that was there long before that breakfast was held a couple weeks ago. Because I was there, Cece, and the church doors were open when I was there for everybody to use the inside flush bathrooms. So the church doors were open for that day. Nobody had to use the porta potties on the day that I was there. I had a key to the church. I was allowed to open it up and let the people use the inside toilets. It was not put there for that. And if it was put there by me for that breakfast, it'd be gone by now. It'd picked up and gone. They're paying for the pumping, they're paying for everything. That was the church, not me. One other one I have to report on here, get a lot of flack down here about Edgin's concrete building down there across from where old King's Inn used to be. Okay? If you go back and look at the original permit when he got that, that was for inside storage only. That's what that permit was issued for. Okay? And like when zoning came in, like so many other people, they got zoned into an area, but they had things that were non-conforming. They filled out a non-conforming report. And because they were grandfathered and they had these items, they were allowed to have them continuing on, okay? Just like there were some people residential, said they couldn't butcher their hogs there at home anymore. They did all their life. They couldn't help they got zone residential. Some of it got changed. But I went around to everybody that I could think of during that zoning change and said, you better make sure this is what you want. Nobody paid attention until all of a sudden they couldn't do on their place what they always done. So then comes the non-conformance report. And so Mr. Atkins and his attorney send a letter in, the paperwork's there, and they ask for a non-conformance report, and he fills it out, submits it in to our zoning officer, John Madden. John Madden has his signature on there with a little drawing, that says the outside parking lot there, etc. Now, he has the okay for private sales, and it states on there not to use it for profit or gain or anything else. That was all on there because it was his own private building and to be taken care of inside. John signed it. Now he wants to set stuff out there and sell it for other people and move on. Where's he in error? Because the paperwork says when you do that, you need a land development plan. Mr. Edkins is in violation. Now, it took me a lot of time to dig that up and to find that out and to go back through the paperwork, clear back into 2002. Mr. Edkins, I have to be notified after Rich reviews what I found and pulled all the records out, and he'll have to be notified that if he wants to continue to do that, he's going to have a land development plan. No different than anybody else. Being enforced equally across the board.
But that was done when someone called your attention to it, is that correct?
What's that?
You investigated that when someone called your attention to it.
Yeah, the people,
Yeah.
they got, when they saw them going in on the outside, there was people knew that that wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so I thought, boy, I gotta check my memory, because this happened before I came back into office in 2004, Jesse.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to go back to the beginning and do the research, and that's exactly what I found, the paperwork's there. Okay? You have, I have one other item here that I'd like to answer to, and I take a look at what's in there. And I did receive a response from Stanley's comments. I was at a meeting, a letter from our district attorney. And that was in regards to drug task force and et cetera. And says, "Dear Mr. Holman, I reviewed your May 29, 2015 correspondence regarding participation of the Penn Township Police Department in the Perry County Drug Task Force. I can only assume that the statements attributed to me are from one of the candidate forums held recently in the Duncannon area. I do not recall speaking directly to Mr. Mutzy Ball, but there were several questions regarding the drug task force at the forum. My statement was that the Perry County received grant money from the Attorney General for operation of a drug task force. The state police and the Attorney General operate their own drug investigations, as our police department does, and shares that drug information, by golly, with the proper people that nobody knows where it comes from, and that's the only way you can do it. You can't tell the bad guys what you're doing or who you are. So, our department has that, I can assure you. At present, I am at a shortage of officers for the drug task force since we only have 2 active municipal departments in the sheriff's office. I indicated the Penn Township Police Department does not participate in the Perry County Drug Task Force. Therefore, our officers are drawn from Marysville and the sheriff. Due to the limited number of officers available, the task force does not spend all the money allotted to Perry County each year, and I end up returning a sizable portion at the end of the year. I believe I may have also indicated that in the past, Newport Borough Police Department was active in the task force, but that due to their disabandonment, they are no longer a source of manpower. I did not indicate that Chief Pickles or any other Penn Township officer had refused grant money. To the contrary, the money is for the drug task force. I cannot disperse it to individual departments. I can use the money to pay officers for any time that they work on drug investigations, through the task force. Penn Township is not eligible to collect any of the grant money directly from the Attorney General. Going back at least 15 years, if not more, the agreement between the drug task force and local police departments is that any officer approved by the local department may participate in the task force with the approval of the district attorney. The local department pays the officer for task force time at the officer's overtime rate. The district attorney then reimburses the department for the amount paid for task force work. All grant money is handled by the district attorney. All task investigations are subject to supervision and approval of the district attorney. I would like to add that in the past, Yes, we have police officers here in Penn Township when we have one full-time in an apartment. And I don't understand how one full-time officer can appoint himself to a drug test when he was salaried and there was no overtime pay to receive in Penn Township at all. Although he asked constantly for paychecks and for overtime for the hours he was spending. I personally took my own plane and flew that individual over Perry County on different areas where he supposedly knew where there were drugs and whatnot, and was later told, man, we had a big drug bust in this. Never see anything, and rightfully so. If they made an arrest and it was quiet, that was the best way out. It happened. But I exposed and he exposed this township to liability above and beyond, and when I found out what the true story was of it, I never took the man up in the air again. I am familiar with how the drug task force works, what takes place, therefore that's why I asked the question to the DA, Stanley. Very, very familiar. And so we do not have an overtime pay rate. We do not have the officers here. And if they get hurt, the liabilities on this township, the same as we had in the past. And I don't ever recall of any approval, by golly, taking place by this Board of Supervisors or ever being involved. But they were there. Just some of the things that after you're around, you get drug into it, you try to help, and it didn't take me long to find out the legal part of it. I was doing wrong, and I got out of it real quick. I tried to help, but I was being drugged into something where I didn't belong.
Who's that letter addressed to, the township, or is that?
Henry Holman. Henry Holman.
I can't put a right to know him for that?
Pardon? Oh, I'm gonna let Helen have it here.
Okay. Yeah, I'd just like to have a copy of it, then Chief Pickles and I will talk then.
You know what I'm saying? That was, I heard what you had to say. I personally sat down and wrote a letter asking for a response.
Well, everything he said's true, then what I talked about.
Yeah, okay?
Word for word, he may not remember talking to me, if he's a politician, that's fine.
Well,
But Chief Pickles and I, we'll talk about that one little section, but that isn't what I said, and that's fine. Chief Pickles and I will talk about that personally then.
you know what I'm saying? So that's where you're at. That was the response that I got back from the DA. And I'd have
That's
bet,
a perfect response.
I'd have bet money that I'd never got one. I didn't think he would answer to me in regard to it, Stanley, but I did.
Like I said, that was a perfect letter. so-
I was surprised, okay? You have that, these are trying to answer some of the questions when I wasn't here that came before the board that I saw in the newspaper and et cetera, and I saw in what took place, I have one other question for those that are interested, is people feel that our ordinances out here, is that the general consensus that we're not enforcing our ordinances, that we're not taking care of them, that they're not uniform? I mean, show of hands. If I'll ask Mr. Peters, ask Mr. Guerra, do you feel our ordinances are not being enforced? Are there ordinances not being enforced out there? Let me know what they are. Don't hesitate to tell me now.
Pile of rocks across from my house. Why wasn't that stopped in the very beginning? And everybody in this room knows I called enough times with enough dump trucks, and our own police department even questioned the drivers because they were lined up, sitting in the turning lane where it says no stopping or standing. We even had another lady here at a meeting one night that questioned that because they also have a construction business. So it's not that, nobody knew that Lowe's building was being brought in there. It should have been stopped from the very beginning and was not. And I don't want to hear how it's a DEP problem. This was long before DEP.
Okay, Helen, Cece, I would suggest you come in and take a look at this, all this letters and whatnot. You know, originally when he started, he was working with county permits that said he was allowed to put it there.
But he never had a land development plan.
Well,
He
wasn't.
never had an
They said he could
approved
store.
plan.
He didn't proceed on trying to build a building or anything on the land development plan. He had a permit, by golly, to store dirt and et cetera.
But he completely changed the footprint of that property.
Yes, I don't disagree with that.
And that should have never happened.
So he was dealing with the MPDES permit. and had the authority to put it in there, and had the okay.
But it still violates our ordinance for a pile of anything more than 20 feet high.
After it got that way, Cece, and meanwhile, we're taking action trying to get it stopped, and it just didn't happen overnight, I'm sorry. I
Never
wish
mind.
you could snap your fingers and make things like that happen, just like that. How about it, Paul? Don't happen, a little tough, isn't it? Yes. Yes, Jesse?
I don't need to get into the details on it, but since I've been coming to the meetings, you know, we had the Morrison deal down there, and they were in violation, and at the last minute, things were hunky-dory with them. Then you have the fence around that junkyard down there that was brought up, and that, I believe, is wrong. Then you have the old King's Inn building down there that's falling apart. You have the gas station down there that's a hazard. I just hope no kids get over there horsing around because, and I don't know where they all stand. Then you had Mrs. Tashik down there, and a big deal was made out of that. And I don't know where all that stands. I don't know if it's in litigation or what. But I think ordinances could have prevented some of those things from progressing to the point they are now.
You have ordinances?
And I know the tarps over the buildings should be illegal also.
And the junkyard down here, somebody needs to move that out of the courthouse to Bloomfield. We did what we had to do, by golly, to put a stop to it. We did our part. And so, that's our problem. We put the injunction, we did what we did to stop that down there and to make them get into compliance. That lays up within the court system. That's where that lies. And across down there, when Mr. Deuce Braddock had King's Inn down there, he wouldn't do anything with it. We forced him into the point to take it to the point where it met the requirements that was needed for it to be set there. And even though it looks the way it is, it became legit. At that point, everybody said, shut it up, whatnot. They did do that. The other building down there, and I can assure you that they're working on the one down there with Deuce Braddock to try to get him to move something on that, to do something with that. That's a tough show.
Which one is that?
That's the old Sitco.
Okay.
That's being worked on. We got a concern down there with that fall down, tearing the power lines down, and doing everything we can down there just to get that taken care of. Doing the best you can with it. Just don't happen overnight. So I haven't heard anything whether we got ordinances out here that want to see enforced that aren't being enforced or whatnot. Brian, how do you feel about it?
I haven't heard anything, sir.
Huh?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay, Brian? Nope. Okay. Try to keep them as uniform as what we can, that everybody be treated the same one. That's all I have under that. I'm sorry it took so
I
long.
do have a question. Do we have a blighted property ordinance?
Not a blighted property ordinance. There is some things we can do under the nuisance complaint
Yeah.
ordinance. And if we send and get the stuff under the building code, we could do that. But we have to send someone in who's certified to inspect them and all that. And we have done that on some properties.
At the cost of the taxpayer to force
Yes.
property owners to do their job,
Yes,
or to be responsible owners.
yes.
But yet, those properties now are blighted, it's an eyesore to the community, and makes Penn Township look junky.
Yes.
And also drops property tax values on the houses around it. Ours has dropped $50,000 since the blighted neighbor is there.
Yeah, how do we stand on that farmhouse deal on Rupp Road?
Actually, I saw in the record tonight that that property is up for sheriff's sale in September.
It was up for sale last
I
year.
understand that.
Do we have a codes officer that goes around and actually cites people for things that aren't the way they're supposed to?
We cited, yeah, we cited them.
But can we force them to fix things?
It's all in the courts then, and that's
Yeah.
what, yeah, that's where it goes.
Because that's
Now
a
with-
real problem. That
Like
courts
with
has
the
been
city-
falling down for 2 years now.
Yeah, and it actually blocking the door and window for egress too.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Sitco station is so dilapidated that we had that inspected so we could actually have it disconnected from the power supply too.
There are kids
Just-
in and out of that. in the
Are they,
back.
where, are they going in the back? There's, I mean, there's a big tractor tire there, I mean,
Well,
and,
it's been a little while since I've seen it, but I know.
yeah, well, we moved the tractor tire, I mean, that's how we got in, it was moving the tractor tire, and getting in there and looking
That
around.
door hung open for so long.
Yeah. We put everything back to try and hold it up, but yeah, it's all through Deuce and Braddock, from what I understand, he's filed bankruptcy and lost his license to practice law, so I don't know what's going on. But,
You know, it's a
I think
quality,
somebody actually tried to buy the old,
you know, it comes down to a
restaurant.
quality of life issue, you know, with some of these places.
Safety.
Safely.
Well, we did the same thing for Dino's as we did for the Sitco property too. If you go in there, you can see that it's, I mean, the floor is completely wobbly and almost collapsed. And somebody kicked the door in, so it had to be sealed up. He was ordered to
I'd
seal
like-
it, it's supposed to be sealed. But there was people trying to buy it, but, you know, apparently he doesn't want to sell it.
I'd like to offer, so maybe a lot of people don't understand, to say things don't happen overnight. We see a lot of these out there, and there's a lot of them out there, and him and Cliff will verify
Oh,
too.
you can stand right here.
You cannot believe how many that you come out there that you cite them in violation of the ordinance. They go pay the fine.
But how about after 3 fines, we imprison them?
Well, now,
Yeah,
that's,
through the court
that-
system.
then it goes through the court system, then you can do that, and you'll go back and you'll cite them again, and they'll pay the fine again. And I had one individual here since I've been here, that he went down here, and the district justice met right down there on the guy's property, and said, I'm tired of paying fines, I don't wanna see you back here anymore. And you know what's gonna happen to you the next time? You're gonna spend 10 days in jail plus a fine. Cleaned it up a little bit, went right back to it again. That is what you have out here. It is, I'm not making no excuses, it is really hard, by golly, till you get it, you can cite them till you get it to the legal system, then you gotta depend on the legal system, not agreeing with the homeowner, and letting them go. Or say you're going to jail, and maybe it'll change things. But it's a tough sell.
And once it gets to a point, and the DJ finally gets to that point, he, actually, one property, he said, okay, you have 30 days to take care of it. From that point on, the police department is to cite you every day. And then it was cleaned up and be done. But it had to go through the system until it finally got to that point. You know, it's a slow wheel sometimes. And it's tough.
In regards to Tashik Chess, I'll answer your question. Yes, we took that clear on to the point till we have what we need to make them tear it down, to put it out for bid, to put a lien against the place down there. And they turn around. And I sure wasn't happy with the decision that was made that night. But everybody took passion and pity on Mrs. Tashik coming in here, crying the blues. They left her off the hook. And if she wanted to do anything, how long would it take us to go back through the process once we broke that chain? Another 2 years to get where we got in the first place, Jess. That mistake was made right here.
I understand that.
Now, you know, and that's, you don't like to do it, but once you get to that point, then you have to depend on the court system to do something for you. That's how long it took us to do
I
that.
have another question. I know you 3 supervisors and the police force are out all the time in the township looking for things that may not be right, as is our I guess Helen does too, being the one that gives out building permits. Don't you want the public's input?
Absolutely, I mean, that's where we get a lot of our information.
That's where you
And
get
that's our eyes and ears,
Yeah.
and then we act on.
And that's what we want to do.
Right, and we use that information and then develop our own leads, that way we don't say, your neighbor just
Get that
called. I mean,
Facebook page started yet so we can interact.
Okay, that's what, I mean, I'm not here to cause people headaches. I know I do it. But if I see something I think is wrong, I'm gonna bring it up. And if you tell me it's not wrong, as you did tonight, I'm happy.
And I'd like to bring a clarification on the Tessick property. That wasn't a total failure, because she did go down and clean it up, The only thing that's on that, the only thing that was put on that property was a lien, is what the township did prior to her cleaning it up. So showing mercy and compassion, even though we didn't, happy that she didn't follow through with paying her bill, and that we had to put a lien against her property, but it wasn't a total loss for showing mercy and compassion. Thank you.
The bill wasn't as great as it would have been at, yeah.
And the township didn't have to invest any more money in cleaning up. She and her family took, and friends took care of it. We only put a lien on the property for what we paid prior to that. So it wasn't a total loss or total wash for the decisions this board made that night. Just for clarification.
Okay. Anything else?
Does anyone else want to talk? I didn't call. No, she's on the agenda. Okay, I guess not. Okay.
Okay, we have before us the invoices and expenditures for approval or rejection. I looked at them. Libby, do you have anything to offer? Anything unusual or anything?
Just 2 additional items, expenses this month. We paid for the heating systems that were installed in these 2 rooms, and we also paid our second quarter taxes, employment taxes.
Okay. What is the wish of the board paying the invoices?
I make the motion that we pay the invoices according to the report.
Okay.
2.
I'll second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
I vote aye, except that I abstained from voting on checks number 28491, Helen,
Yes.
and 28410,
Mm-hmm.
as they're made out to the 2
Retips.
associates, and in order to avoid the
Thanks.
possibility of a potential conflict of interest, I
Okay.
abstain because I'm going by Rotu.
Could you fellas speak up a little bit? We can't hear you back.
I abstain from voting on checks, the numbers I just gave, to our 2 associates in order to avoid the potential for a conflict of interest because I'm employed by our 2 associates.
Okay. Treasurer's report. Libby, have anything to offer on the treasurer's report?
We received our monthly payment, or taxes from cap tax for the earned income tax. And we also received the money from the borough for the police contract.
Okay. What is the wish of the board for approval of the treasurer's report?
I move the treasurer's report be approved, subject to audit.
Okay. And second, all those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered. Minutes.
CDs.
Go ahead, all the CDs, I'm sorry, Helen.
We have 2 liquid fuel
Sure.
CDs that are maturing the beginning of August. The first one at the top of that sheet is currently invested at Marysville for an 18-month term. The Municipal Easy Access CD is still at 0.65%. The second CD is invested at Mifflin Town, and it is a Municipal Easy Access CD. It's the first one that's maturing that we have invested in on an 11-month term. So, however you wish to reinvest
What's
these.
this specials?
There's a 33-month special at Mifflin Town
For a 1.25.
for 33 months.
Yeah. And the easy access does not give us a penalty withdrawing money from it.
Okay.
After 7 days.
Yeah.
What is the wish of the board as far as okay the CDs for the liquid fuel?
So if we move it to the special, we don't have, well, we have access to it.
We
with
have it, but there'll be
penalties.
a penalty. We'll lose our interest. If we leave it in the easy access, we can withdraw after 7 days with no penalties. And that same percentage will stay on the rest of the money in that CD.
I make the motion that we the CD for Marysville Bank, that we go ahead and continue in the 11 months.
Okay, on the easy access to
on the
Mifflin?
Easy access. And likewise, the same for the Mifflin CD.
Motion been made?
I second the motion.
Motion made with second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered. I'd like to comment for the interest of the people out there, one of those CDs for $79,436.07. The other's for $107,578, and we're due, what, 100 and some thousand
We
this
got
year?
121 this year.
We got 121 coming to us this year.
Oh, we have it.
Oh, we have it, okay, we got it, okay. So, that, paved the road out of it this year, and you're gonna be looking at $200,000 laying there to pave road next year, plus another 100 and some coming. So it's been good managed with this liquid fuels money. It's been spent on repairing our roads rightfully as it should be. We haven't bought any equipment or anything with it, which we could. Okay. That being said, you have the minutes for June 24th, 2015, conditional use in 2024, 2015. Being absent at that meeting, I abstained from voting on it.
I move that we approve the minutes of the June 24th Supervisors meeting and the minutes of the June 24th Leonard conditional use hearing.
I second.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. I gave my reasons for not voting. Okay. You have before you the highway report. Holly Schaefer signs. We have a request.
She's here.
Okay.
Yep. You don't have to stand.
Hi, my name's Holly Shaver. I live down on Firehouse Road. I'm asking for, like a speed sign down there. There's children, there's animals, and people are racing. If the township can't put it on, I'm willing to pay for the signs. We just need something. The people are just racing. They're not being considerate for other people, for children, for people walking, for the animals, or nothing. How do I go about getting signs?
Okay, it's been the customary process in the township that we will install, we'll put them up if you're willing to purchase them.
Yes, I just need to know the amount for it.
And you need to know what you want for signs you want to see, and we can tell you exactly what they'll cost. We put them up for duck crossings, cattle crossings, kid crossings, and everything else, and then we'll place them so that they're at a proper place, that they're not obstruction.
Okay.
And we donate that time if you're willing to donate the signs, Mark. Yes, sir.
Well, she's actually asking for two different types.
Yeah.
One is a speed, and one is for the slow down dogs and children.
Slow down children and slow down for animals.
Okay.
You want that, or you want slow children at play?
Slow down for children to play.
Okay.
There is, the neighbor up the road has slow for children, but we don't have nothing down towards us where they're zooming back and forth.
They didn't come through us for that sign. The slow children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just so you know. Well, the children at play signs are $18, and the youth channel is $28.75.
To what?
The post.
Okay.
So, 30, 46.75.
Okay.
Okay.
What about animals?
Well, see, that's it. If you want the standard, it's 18 for the children at play. If you want the custom with that slow down children, animals, or whatever you want to put on it, that's going to go to $37.50.
I'll pay that.
You price them out of Craig?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That does not include the speed sign.
No, the speed sign, normally we do those.
Hell, that sign you put in there for $38 or whatever it was?
Yeah.
37. That didn't include the post too? So
No, the post is still would be another.
I'll pay it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to post down on my road.
So.
Talking about those speed zone signs there, I was wanted to respond to Cece about the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit on Schoolhouse Road. Years ago, when they paved the Schoolhouse Road, The township went out, put up signs and dropped it to 35. And enough people got a hold of PennDOT, PennDOT come in, done a road survey, says you gotta put the sign back up to 45. Is it 40? 40, I didn't know whether it was 40 or 45. That's how that road got to be there at 40. I don't know whether it could be a change in that, but that was PennDOT made us take it back up. I think they made it 30 or 35 without doing a speed study, and people complained about it. People got stopped and whatnot, brought PennDOT back in. They said you can't do it. So that's how that speed, that's how 11 and 15 is slower than what Schoolhouse Road is.
Let me see. Do I have that in here?
Okay, truck.
Oh, wait a second.
I'm sorry, no.
We have the one ordinance for Firehouse Road at 25 miles per hour. Would you have to do another speed study?
No, you have it
Replace
covered.
the sign?
Okay.
It's on there.
Okay.
It's in that list.
Mm-hmm.
That sign is in there.
So that's,
We may have that or have to get it made up.
okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I'll get with you and Cliff for the proper distance for that. What, quarter mile, isn't it?
It's usually half on the
Well, we'll take,
main roads, but anywhere where it's at,
Yeah.
where they enter. If you put one at the beginning and any one of the entrances, that should suffice. Especially
you have on there for the township truck. Last year, budget time, I got pricing and got budget money in for small truck out here. The other truck that they have out there is time to get rid of it. You have oil pan rusting through, leaking through. There was never too much maintenance or salt cleaned up in that old Ford out there, the old Ford dump truck we had. As a matter of fact, oil pan leaked that bad. Tear transmission, I jacked the motor up just to get the oil pan off. I cleaned it up, took a soldering iron, tinned a penny, and soldered a penny over the hole. It's that way yet today. Okay? Now we're leaking some other leaks out of it. We have gasket seal on the back of the rear end back there, which is not bad, nothing wrong with the rear end of it. Made a motion, we had the bid, we took a look at it, we had it approved, we got into a new year, we got into a lot of ice and snow. And I'm gonna be honest, folks, I forgot about it. And they're set the truck out there, it's out of inspection. I told them I'd gladly get it inspected. For those that know, I'm ultra conservative. Our big trucks that take twice inspection a year, we don't use them in the summertime. I don't waste the money on inspection. When it comes snowplow time, they get inspected to get us through the winter. And then one of them, the one we use full-time, we inspect that twice a year, and the smaller trucks that require inspection twice a year. This one here, the guy wasn't worried about inspection sticker on it. I told him there's nothing wrong with it. I could put that on if he wanted. Price is a little different from last year. This one's a diesel. The other one I bought, I thought we would go with a V8 Ford because of an $8,000 difference in diesel engine. That's the difference on this. Gas one was only $8,000 more. Got that V10 out there. It'll pass everything but a gas station. It's powerless. You get it loaded down on Hill Road and down in Perdix, and sometimes you think you're not going to get off the spot to get moving. You got to put it in low range and four-wheel drive to get going. It's nice for out here riding around in the summertime. But this one here was bid and quoted as a diesel, the automatic, white, the snowplow package, trailer package on it to tow your anything that you might have the back end that the other ones have. You got the molded step, you got a truck utility equipment, 9-foot dump body with electric hydraulic hoist. Same thing as the last one that we have out there with the stainless steel bed and etc. They offered us $4,500 on a trade-in for the old truck. Okay, took a look at it. It's got 42,000 miles on it. When I came here, the whole frame in the front was tore out, but I tore the whole complete front end off of it. Spent a week rebuilding that truck so you could even keep a snowplow on. So that part of it was all explained to the guy. The new price for a new truck is $61,616. I put it before the board whether they want to get it ordered. I've been proactive, by golly, in keeping new equipment, good equipment, replacing our equipment. We've had 2 trucks out here, and we got them paid for, and we're able to write checks out for them. I came here in 2004, we couldn't do that. So there's been good management, whatever everybody might think of their money. That new price there is $61,616.10. I'd like to put it before the board here so that the truck can be ordered. We can get the red of it out there and put a better one in it. Why do we need 4 snowplows? Because they break down. And when you lose one, you better have 3 out there. That's what it takes to keep the township going. 3 trucks going full time. When you do lose one, it really doubles up on you quick. And you get behind with it, especially with a lot of ice and stuff. But that being said, that's before the board for condition, for approval, or if they want to order it, etc. I will offer that I would suggest, since you have it, you have an excess, our new transportation bill down there has put more money in our liquid fuels coffers than it did before. And that's been a big help coming back into Penn Township increase, and you're going to get more out of it. Is that, what, 15 cents goes on, Paul? That goes on graduated, you know what I'm saying? 5, 5, 5, and 5, I think it was, or something like that, you know, you're going to get more of it. If a person takes a look at the budget, I'm going to share this with the 2 supervisors, this is my opinion on that truck. That's a $61,000 truck. You take that, you take it on the payment plan, take $20,000 a year out of your liquid fuels money, which you can. 3 years, you pay that truck off, and you don't hurt your money in liquid fuels for the road. Believe me, you don't hurt it. You're at the point now that we got that much there. So I'll put it before, what is the wish of the board? It's something you need to keep upgrading this equipment and keep in good shape.
Is this the same amount that was budgeted for it, or did it go up since?
It would have went up since.
It's went up how much, Helen? What was it, 50?
58.
58 something, right, it's only a couple $1,000 bucks, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what we did budget on it, we had a budget number.
I think I put in what the quote was.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more.
Yeah,
It was originally going to be.
and you gotta take a look at this is not a 2015.
56,000, Brian.
Huh?
56,478
Yeah.
was the quote we got back in '04.
There is no more 15s out there to be bought, this will be a 16 truck.
And that was without a trade-in.
I move we purchase the truck as described by you for $61,616.10.
I second.
Motion made with a second, all those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Clarification, liquid fuels account and 3 years.
That's my recommendation, if they wanna take a look at it,
I'll make that part of the motion.
Okay.
and that's,
Do you agree to that, Brian?
I agree.
Okay.
okay. I thank you for that. It's much needed out there, and I'll try to keep this stuff out there in the best of shape. Highway report. Once again, I'm not gonna make any excuses, but we have had terrible rain, heavy rain. We've had water down over Barnett Drive back there with 2 foot of crap. And that's not the only place. We've had banks come down that never come down before. We've had a tremendous amount of water. And so far, we've been able to stay on top of it. To show you how bad it's been, we say we didn't have rain. Hawes Drive, where we put that big culvert in out there and paved that road. If you go out and take a look, where it comes down the state road, where they put the riprap in, it has clogged up over there at Charlie Borman's place, I don't know how many times. Ruins his yard, comes across, washes that big heavy riprap out, goes down and goes in the entrance to Hawes, washes the riprap out that the state put in there, washes gutters down the side of our road, eating out underneath our road, and you can put it back in, and the next time you have it, you're going to get it again. I've seen it in the last 2 years, 3 or 4 times. The state's been out there, they were just out there last week out there fixing some of it up again, with their grade oil and whatnot. You go around the bend up there with that huge culvert and the head walls that we put in, we put a new road in there, and the water comes down that stream, fills that 4 foot culvert plus up with the head walls, overflows, goes out over top of the road. It's been that way for I don't know how long. the new head wall and the pipe was put in there with FEMA money because of that very same thing, and it happened before. And we put that in there. You think the culvert's gonna take it? Yes, it handles the water until there's a tree comes down there that's blowed over up that stream, clogs up the pipe, where it goes in through, and there's a tree root sticking out, goes up over the top, eats the bank away, washes the dirt away, ate it underneath our road. I replaced that a couple times, tarred and chipped it, kept on it to preserve that new road. This time, I said before it happens again, we're gonna fix it. If you go out there and take a look, we poured aprons around the top. We had put head walls in there out of these bollards that we got from Marstella out there. We poured concrete out over it, the water can, if it comes down and clogs up again, there's gonna be nothing more than going up on the road, across the concrete, it's Niagara Falls back in the stream on the lower side. We got in that stream, clear up to the bend, three of us got down in there and sawed up the logs and cut up the trees. It was laying down in there, it fell across, and got in there and cleaned every one of them out the whole way up through, so to try to stop that repeat performance. So it was a lot of work. We got them sawed up, and then we got one guy in the backhoe and two guys down there hooking chains to them, lifting them out of the stream and getting them up out of there. I hope it's a permanent fix. I'd welcome anybody to go out and take a look at the hard work that was put in that. And while we were there, where they had put the entrance to put that new road in down there, they made about a half an access down in there for the kayakers and the boaters. You'd be surprised how much that used. I poured them a ramp there off the edge of the road there, because the more they used it, the more they were breaking our road down. So they got a concrete ramp in there, and some people thanked us for it when we were out there. We spent just the better part of 2 weeks right there till we got that straightened up, because the heavy water made a terrible mess out of it. Go out and take a look at it. Yeah, I think that it could overflow now, but it can't go nowhere back in the stream. So we fixed that out there. Poison hemlock this year. A lot of it around. I see the state got pretty active with spraying an awful lot of it up and down 11 and 15. We eradicated as much of it as we could ourselves. We're catching up on it, not as much of it around as some of the areas that we got, but it's still one that needs to be out there and needs to be taken care of and looked after, because it is a very, very poisonous plant. Could do a lot of damage to those that don't know what it is. It's been hard to get out to repair. I will tell you, last year at this time we had used 4,000 gallons of E3 oil out here in Penn Road, repair of cracks and whatnot. This year so far, we've got one used. Tank's full, car buggy's full, ready to go in the weather out here as we can get it. Right now we're concentrating on Linton Hill. We're repairing the washout out there at Faculty Road, where it comes down around the bend after it goes past Lindquist's place on the right-hand side. We're out there today. There's another one. You can put gravel in it. You can put modified in it. You can beat it down. I don't care what you put in it. The rain comes down there, washes it back out, and you got the gutter. I, too, got to pour a swale in there to carry that water. And that's done. And no sense in trying to do anything else with it. Put something in there permanent. And so I tend to have that done out there and get that done. We got the, amount of brush and greens that we cut back this year. It just seems like it grows right back. We have the new truck bed here. I have one other thing that's an interest to me, and I'll mention it briefly because it is important. It affects us all. How many people have ever heard of the spotted lanternfly? Okay? It's one of many. I bring it to your attention so you know. It's like the gypsy moth and like so many other things. Spotted lanternfly, if you bring it up on the internet, you get a real good picture. He's a little fellow that looks like this. At the present time he's got into this country, he's in Berks County. They're trying to conform it. He kills the grapevines, he kills your forest, he kills the pine trees. There isn't nothing that he don't like. And they got a quarantine on it down there. And I'd advise anybody that has a big interest to take a look at it, because it can impact us, the greenhouses, everybody around here that has it. They don't have no choice thing that they pick on. They're an Asian pest that come into this country, and hoping they can find them. But if they're like the emerald ash borer, which killed all of our ash trees, and every one of them on my farm, you couldn't find them. They're all out there, they're dying, and they tried to quarantine them, but they could never keep them out there. They love this heavens tree that's out there, which is native across the pond. I got some on my farm. I cut them down as quick as I can. They make an egg nest, and they're well, I'm not going to dwell on it anymore. I'm just going to bring it to your attention. But they've got right there it is. The were imported from the Southeast Asia like so many other ones. So just bring it to your attention. Take a look at it on the internet. They're a pretty little bug, very destructive.
What's it called again, please?
Huh? It's a spotted lanternfly, Jesse. Take a look at it. They're really concerned about it here in the state of PA. So far, we don't know how it showed up just in Berks County. And I follow that stuff pretty close, you know. This is like gypsy moth was formed. We have a fungus that's killing our walnut trees. Nothing to do about it. They have no antidote. That's spreading throughout the state of PA. We have them that they're affecting our native dogwoods. We've got problems with them. They'll soon be in a lot of trouble. Same as you have the woolly aphid that's killed all of our hemlock. And so there's so many of those pests out there that's what price we pay for making China and Southeast Asia our favorite trading nation. They've all been brought in here without any regard. I put that out there. That information I think is part of supervisor's job to make people aware of those things. And they lay 30 to 50 eggs in the bark of the trees, etc. You can find all that. You can pull it off there. I won't dwell on it anymore. But they are terribly destructive. There isn't nothing that they will not attack. Pine trees, they bite into them and the sap runs out of them until they're dead. That being said, I don't have anything else underneath the highway report. And at that, I'll move on to Penn Township Planning Commission. Barry Combs waiver, Helen?
Yes, Barracks Homes and the Fries are requesting a waiver. The land development plan that Mr. Leiter put in states on it that there will be a land development plan. I'm looking here. A land development plan should be done before a building permit is issued, and the owner and owners of each lot shall submit to the township supervisors the plan showing the location of the dwelling, outbuildings, on-lot septic sewage system, the location, profile, access of driveways, and any other associated erosion control. They're also requesting a waiver of the erosion control plan to be submitted to Perry County. We got the letter from the from the Planning Commission saying they're recommending that we grant the waivers with the condition that a silt fence shall be placed all around the disturbed area, and that is to be reviewed by the zoning officer once the construction starts, and since the construction is not on any steep slope. There is a plan in this packet for you that came with the zoning permits application that shows you where all that stuff is at.
Right in there.
And that's one of the reasons that Mr. Varick is asking for the waiver, that the zoning permit does give that.
In order to make use of that lot out there, that they don't have much choice, folks, if you go out and take a look at it, but they ask for that variance so that they can use it. What is the wish of the board?
I have moved that we approve the waiver request.
Okay, motion been made. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Okay, motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
With the condition of the silt fence?
Yes.
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 Yes, include that condition, please.
That's all I have on the planning.
Zoning
commission.
report, Helen?
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. First thing is the report itself, what Lenny has done on the zoning. Okay, and then the next thing is McGuire's Ford's variance request. This is for signage. The amount of signage and the square footage of signage, they're asking for more than the ordinance allows. We have the planning commission's recommendation. Since the planning commission came in, they've submitted also for the pole sign that was out there before. That used to be packed towards the mountain more. Well, they want to move it out front, and that is going to be included with the signage and all this. They have to, the planning commission also said that they had problems with the, where is it? They presented no hardship. I've talked to Ryan and his engineer, and they have to present this to the hearing board, but their hardship is that the company, Ford Motor Company, it dictates how much signage and what signage has to be on the buildings. Just like Mr. Ford did for Dodge. And the thing about the block letters with the Ford location not shown, that sign is not going to be on this. That they sent it the packet with the generic packet of all the signs with the application to Lenny. There's a block Ford, which just says F-O-R-D on it.
So where is it?
Yeah,
Where will it be?
it won't be. It's not going to be on the property at all. So the main question is, do you gentlemen wish to be party to this or not, or send any comments to the zoning hearing board on it?
Helen, I feel supervisor, and I'm glad to go to it, and I'll give my reasons why we should be party to this. This is a situation down here, if you're familiar to this, and I took a look at it, and where they're at down here. McGuire's was like Ford's down there. You have a franchise that tells you what you have to do. You can't meet it, you don't open the doors. And McGuire's down here at the present time is also in that same boat. They have a franchise down here. They're making a big improvement down here. I don't want to see the business move. They're this far into it. But Ford, they're trying to get paperwork, I know, from the present time, stating that they have to have this to bring it to the meeting. If they don't have it at this hearing, I'd like to go and represent the township and speak on behalf of them, that we realize that this is a hardship of theirs that's beyond their control. It's not going to impact anything. You just got square footages with a sign ordinance that I've always had some problems with all the way through about the square footage of it. But there has to be some flexibility on it. And I think this is the time the township should exercise that. It's not going to impact anything or make it any worse. And the one sign that's in there submitted is not going to be put there. So what is the wish of the board? I think the township should participate and at least go there to express that this isn't the only place that this happened, in case people forget.
What is the, do we have what the current size?
The current size they have? No, I don't have that.
I'm just curious on how much bigger it is versus that.
Oh, it's going to be. Right now, they have the McGuire's on the original building on the side, which is actually a separate lot.
Correct.
So that one, I'm not sure how big that is. And then they had the pole sign, which I do believe that's bigger than 50 square feet, because they're going to use the same sign. That is,
That's the big tall one.
oh yeah, 19 by 8. But that's the same, actually same sign they're going to use. They just want to move that towards the on-ramp. That's it. So all the, how much was that, did we figure out approximately?
Oh, I forget. It's quite expensive.
Yeah.
what, 400 square feet?
something like that, for all the signs. That includes service signs, the Ford sign, a couple round ones on the building itself. There's service, there's a couple little
Yeah.
directional signs.
And what does the ordinance allow?
Right now, 50 square feet per lot, and that can be divided between they can have a pole and a building sign on the same lot, but it has to be 50 square feet. The planning commission is reviewing that, and they will have a recommendation to up that square footage. This just hasn't come up to this board yet.
In the ordinance?
Yes, yeah. But right now, on the books, it's 50 square feet.
I don't see anything significant in the size of what they're promoting there just down there. That's my honest opinion, you know.
No, they're going to doubling that? I don't have a problem with it. I just wondered what it would work.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not all just one big giant sign.
I understand.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of little ones, and they all add up.
Did McGuire not know about this sign issue before that it could be adjusted the original plan?
Well, I'm sure
They
know
still
about
would have
it.
had to get the variance for it,
What's that?
on the original plans.
Yeah.
They still would have had to get the variance for it.
That's what I mean, it seems like now, you know, well, now we're gonna do this.
No,
Just
that's,
amazing when a big dealership could, this is what you gotta do, regardless of what municipalities.
yep, on their land development plan, they did not state of any signs on the building.
And when that ordinance was enacted, I'm sure you didn't have the Ford dealerships and the Chrysler dealerships dictating what they have to.
Or Members First either.
Members first, that's
And-
correct. Well, any
yeah.
big corporation.
Yeah, that was not considered back in,
Jeff,
something.
you know, in defense of it, you know, like the school down here, the electronic sign down there, exceeds it. It was what it is. Didn't meet our requirements. And you granted that variance down there. Does it look obnoxious? I thought that when you take a look at the size, you can't compare it once it's installed and whatnot. It sure isn't as bad as what I thought it was gonna be down there. And as a matter of fact, it's small in letters and whatnot. You really gotta look at it to see it. And so it's been done wherever we can. You granted extra signs down here on Tubby's.
Yes, they didn't do it, but yes.
Yes, yeah, they wanted extra signs down there, and they were granted, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Members First,
So
the same thing.
Members First, same thing, so I'm just saying that, so everybody knows what I would go there to defend in front of the hearing board for. And normally, we don't participate in them, but if they don't make a good presentation, well, you know, they doesn't hurt to go there and voice your opinion and how you feel about it. What is the wish of the board represented under those conditions?
I move that the supervisors be a party to the zoning hearing on McGuire's Ford, and that Chairman Holman represent the board at that hearing
And support the variance.
in support of the requested variance.
I second.
Motion made with the second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay. Debbie Kravagas has a variance request also. She lives on Sherman's Creek Road. She would like to put a garage in. And she wants to put it across this private road for it.
The road bisects her property.
Yes,
Into two parcels.
yeah.
If she puts it on the parcel where her home is, it'd be in the floodplain.
It'd be either on top of her septic or in the
Floodplain.
creek.
Yeah. So the only place to put it is on the property on the other side of the road. The question is what's the setback, and then we require a pretty good setback,
Yeah.
but in this condition, it doesn't seem to be.
No, the planning commission recommends approval with a 16-foot setback from the right-of-way to the face of the building, the garage, to provide an off-street parking for unobstructed traffic flow. And that,
The rationale for the 16 feet is that would at least allow her to probably pull a reasonable vehicle in there and park it in front of the garage door without obstructing the road for other people
And the existing right-of-way back there is only 16 feet as it is.
Yes.
Correct.
It's a dirt road.
Yeah, it's a dirt road, yeah. And
Back there.
And
There's
you
only
take-
one
you take- you
person.
take- Yeah, you take a look at it, ma'am, and if we don't grant that, you're right against the mountain. And they can get
Yeah.
the distance there to put the garage in there.
Yeah.
So I agree with granting the variance. She doesn't have much choice, and she can meet the conditions of the requirements.
Yeah. And the same thing, whether you wish to be a party to it or not.
Personally, on this one, I think it's self-explanatory. I mean, I gladly will, if the wish of the board wants to, but we can send a written recommendation if you wish. But,
That could be the same height?
Yes, yeah, they're both going to be
It'll
on,
be
Oh,
the
the
same
same
night.
night.
same night, yeah,
We'll
they both will
okay.
be on the 13th of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, to meet the required setback, she'd have to dig significantly into
And,
into
right.
the side of the hillside. She's already digging into the side of that hill, put the garage in now.
A little bit.
Mhm.
I'll make the motion that Chairman Homer represents the Board of Supervisors at the Planning Commission, and that we approve of the variance request, docket number 2015-07.
Question on the motion. I believe it's the zoning hearing board.
Zoning
Yeah.
hearing board.
Don't have
Oh,
some,
yes, zoning hearing board.
yeah.
I second the motion.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay?
See you on
See
the
you at the
13th.
hearing.
Thank you.
Shores Enforcement Officer report, Duncannon Lions Club holding tank.
Yes, this is the 2-year renewal on this one. They still have their $200 in escrow, in cash that they gave us that we have it put aside. Yes, no, maybe?
What? Yes. Okay, Donald, okay, what's the wish of the board? Get a vote on it. It's customary.
Yeah.
They do it every 2 years.
Mhm.
We're approving a contract?
Yeah.
I move that we approve the retaining tank cleaning contract for Duncan Lions Club.
I second.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay.
Now, while we're at it, let's take a look at the one down here for the.
That's on there.
Huh?
It's on there.
Okay.
Yep, we have this. If you approve this one, I recommend that it's conditional that the cleaner signs it. She just came in this afternoon, or this morning, to drop this off.
Okay. Now signed this morning. The supervisor signed it on a guarantee that you can conditionally approve this, until you get the signature of
the cleaner.
which you normally, and that's in order to get it in compliance down there as quick as possible. Matter of fact, it was down there yesterday. I saw him cleaning and pumping it out. I signed it as an attest to Nala when she came in here. What is the wish of the board approving that for the Middle Cove Bible Church?
This is the Porta-John.
Porta-John.
The other one's a holding tank.
And this is for a period of what time? Is it going to be removed by?
Special events permit.
There's normally a time limit on those.
Okay. So
She said the summer, but I don't have exact dates yet.
Yeah.
That could be a condition too, if you wish, or we can
there's
hold it.
special events that they have down there. If someone wants to come in and use that, they may not have a calendar date now, but they'll come in and ask the church to say, can we use this for a reception, or can we use this for something else or whatnot? So they really might not have exactly nailed down dates for it, is what I'm getting at, but it's only a summertime thing, because the water's drained out of it. It's not used at all in the wintertime when cold weather comes. If you want to put a 6-month time frame on it, why that should cover what they need, because it'll be gone just as soon as the season's over. They have homecoming up down there, and they also got it out there for that, which is coming up here in 2 weeks.
I move that we approve the portable toilet cleaning contract for the Middle Cove Bible Church for a period of 6 months, conditional upon the cleaner signing the contract.
Okay.
I second.
Motion made with a second. All those give their consent by saying aye, and for a period of what, 6 months?
6 months.
Okay, thank you.
I'll get you to the
All right,
end of
all
it.
those in favor give their consent by saying aye. The ayes have
Okay.
it, so ordered.
And that's all I have under SEO.
Okay. Okay, Penn Township Park and Rec Board report.
You have my report. This month was our last senior luncheon until we will resume it again next year. We were planning on having a community yard / craft sale August 15th, and that has been canceled due to lack of staffing for the event. We have had Conley Brothers in to do measurements on the kitchen, and we're moving ahead to redo the kitchen with countertops and cupboards in the sink. And we do have 2 positions opening for the Penn Township Park and Rec Board that will be advertised.
Thank you for reporters. One thing I'd like to thank Karen and the rec board out there. Often they come down here, can you help us with this, Henry? Can you help us with that? And I say, give me a rainy day. Well, we haven't had much trouble this year because we worked out there a lot out here at the rec board while it was raining. Wet days where we couldn't do something else. I don't know if they take notice, we cut the pine trees on them so they can mow underneath them. I put the boys out there to give Ken a help on the bank out there on the weed whipping and whatnot to try to keep that dressed up. So those offers are still there. We try to work on them. We're real busy. We can't show up, but when we get free time, we do. So don't be afraid to ask.
Who are the 2 individuals that are?
No, there is a 7-member board, and they only have 5 members.
Yeah, we only have
still,
5
okay.
members on the board right now. We're looking for active members.
Okay, Penn Township Municipal Authority.
I have nothing.
Okay. Okay, Helen, Secretary's report, Ag Security, we need to set a date for a hearing.
Yes, we need to set a date for that hearing. We have one applicant who asked to be put onto the ag security area. I would recommend we have until the 31st to do this. I would recommend at the next meeting, 7 o'clock this is a 5-minute hearing.
It's a 5-minute.
Yeah. It was a 3-minute meeting for the Ag Security Committee.
I make the motion that we go ahead and advertise for the August Board of Supervisors meeting.
The 26th.
Yes.
Yes. The question is, for me, do you wish to have a stenographer with it also?
I don't think it'd be
No.
necessary, in my opinion, wish of the board though.
It's a 3-minute meeting,
Yeah.
you know.
And that would be held before the.
Yeah, before,
supervisor meeting
yeah,
begins
it'll be
at 7
advertised for
o'clock.
it, and that going right into our regular meeting.
7 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay.
If you wish, yes.
Is the motion complete?
Yes.
I second the motion.
Motion made, second, all those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
I find that in this particular 52 acres that was for sale commercial for so long, but it never got purchased to the point, and the realtor had trouble finding anybody that was interested in that, I understand, and they finally went to the next door neighbor, the farmer. I just cannot believe that that parcel of ground out there set that long with the facilities and whatnot that close to it, that it didn't sell for some commercial use or for some development growth. So there's 52 acres there.
I'm glad it didn't.
Huh?
I'm glad it didn't.
Come on now, Jesse, economic growth and development here.
Not across from my house.
You
That
know.
guy that bought it, the father was at the sale when they sold the whole farm, and
Yeah.
that's a whole story.
Yeah, I understand. I got, they made some tremendous improvements out there, cleaning up the road and whatnot. They're really moving on it out there, so. I just surely thought that would go for something else, but nevertheless, they got it. Agenda item, Helen?
Oh, that was the request of Mr. Nace last month of having something on the agenda. Basically, a report added to the agenda.
So it's just gonna be at the regular meeting, it's not gonna be before the regular meeting, it's just gonna be at the start of the regular meeting?
The Act Security?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll advertise for the hearing at 7 o'clock to go directly into the regular meeting. You want to think about this some more?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna
Lala?
repeat what you.
Do you want to put on the agenda a report for the fire company, the ambulance company, a report on the agenda for every month or not? That's the question. That's what Craig Nace asked if you guys would consider.
I guess what I'm getting at is, I think I saw on that request there that fire company also did not, or did.
Yeah, the fire company.
The fire company also, we don't have their input, whether they want to do it. They're not here tonight or haven't given a report. Greg, you usually give us a report about every month. You're looking for more than just what you're normally doing, or?
I frankly don't recall making that request.
Okay.
You did.
Okay.
Okay.
Last month?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Where?
At the meeting.
At the
You
meeting.
mentioned that if they put an agenda item on, you'd be okay with that too. If that's what they wanted to do. It was kind of a,
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew the fire chief was making those requests, but okay.
I thought you did
Either
too.
way, whatever.
Well, you brought it up, then he just
Yeah, he
caught the
jumped on
coattails.
board.
Table it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there's something different, leave it the way it is, okay? I mean, I
That's
can go
fine.
all that. You make that for a motion, Brian?
I don't think we have to make a
No,
motion.
No.
just leave it the way it is, okay?
Okay.
Traffic signal maintenance agreement.
Okay, our current maintenance agreement ends on December 31st. I'm asking to go out and get quotes
Mhm.
for the contract. I'm requesting 2 years. Again, it makes it a little easier. The letter that you got there is what I sent out last time for the quotes. And it'll be going to our signal services, the ones we use now, plus any others I can find in the phone book.
Mhm. I make a motion that we grant Helen permission to go out for quotes for our maintenance agreement on our traffic lights.
Yeah.
I second.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Any complaints, Stanley, from anybody? The light's working properly, improperly?
It's working fine.
They're working fine.
Every once in a while, it still does that squirrely thing where it changes to green to go out and there's nobody there. Just every once in a while.
I think might be,
It's a ghost.
Birds. Could be. Yeah, I noticed it early in the morning, but.
fall cleanup bid?
Yes, it's that time again.
Okay.
I'm asking to advertise for bids. Date would be October, what is that, the third week? 15th, 16th, 17th?
Yes, that's what you have in here.
Okay, yeah. Steel 4 tires, no more than 4 tires per household.
Make a motion. Allow Holland to advertise for our fall cleanup.
I second.
Motion made, go ahead.
No, that's right.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay, the next thing is we had a resident who must like us a lot because she paid her occupational bill and then she put in to be exonerated for, she retired for her occupational. So Barbara informed me that there's now a $4.90 owed to the lady. I just need permission to cut the check for that.
I'll make a motion that we grant that check for $4.90 to the lady as reimbursement.
I second.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye. Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay, this is that PPL grant about changing the lights to LEDs. There's basically 4 different quotes here. They gave us what it would cost, our portion to pay for this would cost, and how many years, how much we would save monthly, and how many years it would go until we would break even on it. Expensive. Expensive.
Expensive.
They did,
Replacement lamps are expensive.
these,
too.
yeah. They did give us a little bit of a discount if we take, in the main building, if we take the number 1 quote, which is for the office and the halls and all that, we'll get a discount on the, what's it called? What is it called? The, I think that's garage, I'm looking here. Oh, I have it. Transportation and all that. What is it? No travel time will be charged to it. But if you only take it for the rooms 3 and 4, which is the authority, and the police offices and the bathrooms, they would have to add in the travel time to that. My question is, do you want to do this? And do we want to put it in the budget for next year, or?
Total township building cost will be $8,735.72, with saving electric at $2,000, so they claim per year.
Yeah.
And please look at the numbers of the years for the project to pay for itself in savings, okay?
Yeah,
The
that we're
garage
talking.
building out there will cost you $988 to replace them out there. Numbers of the year for the project to pay would be 5.5 years, $178 you would save in a garage out there per year. The biggest electric user we have out there is the electric hot water heater out there, which we put on a timer out there so the guys have hot water. It's not on over the weekend or whatnot. We only put that on to heat it up and turn it off at night, and the next day you still have hot water. So we've cut back on that, and all the electric bills that are out there, they used to be pretty heavy. And I used to plug in all the heaters on the trucks in the winter time, all 4 of them. That was like 4 water heaters running all the time, and our electric bill went to $1,300 a month. Don't plug them in no more. They all got heaters on them. They all got glow plugs on them. But you had to get a block heater on, which you never use. They start well without it. Okay, and what is the wish of the board? It's expensive. You want to think about it another month, or do you want to take action on it? Yes or no?
Is there a deadline for responding to this proposal?
No, I told them that if we might just put it into the budget for next year because of the pricing.
Okay.
I couldn't tell them no out front, but.
I move we table until next month.
Okay.
I second.
Motion made. Second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Good.
Next, you got your medical insurance here, Helen. That was what we had our executive session for.
Yeah,
We're looking at, what, a 9% increase on our insurance coverage this year.
yes.
And
And we
we're
did-
lucky to get away with that. We're keeping the plan where we're at. The guys decided that's what they wanted. And that was a recommendation of the lady. Brian sat through that meeting and whatnot. So it's a matter of whether we want to adopt that plan tonight. And
Well, we have to decide by September 31st.
yeah, it's all there. All the numbers are there.
Yeah.
We had that complete amount of money there the night she left at the meeting.
Yes.
9% benefit. My employers, ours went up to 19%.
Excuse me, I should have turned that off. That's my wife calling me to make sure I'm here. Sorry about that for that take off.
Also, our vision stays the same. And And the dental only went up at 2%. It hasn't gone up in like 4 years.
Yeah, can we sign up?
You want to sign up?
I make the motion that we continue with the same insurance plan as it is,
Okay.
with the 9% increase on the health insurance
Mhm.
and the 2% increase on the dental.
Thanks for that motion. Do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered. Internet,
Yes, with our cable franchise agreement,
yes.
we have to ask them to come in and hook up the internet that we could get free with them. I'm asking permission to ask them.
I make a motion that we go forward, giving Helen permission to contact the cable company to install the internet according to our agreement.
I second the motion.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay, and then the last thing I have is more FYI than anything else. Went to the cap tax meeting on the 15th, and everything's going good. They got this new computer to process all the taxes that come in and all that. Well, we're finally paid off, done paying that off, and we're showing a profit
Okay?
on amounts. So they're happy with that, and our bottom line is happy with that.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay, underneath the secretary's report at this time, I'd like to bring something up that affects the budget coming up in the present year. As everybody sees, our units are in place and working. Okay? It was been a goal of mine when I came here to see that this whole system got revamped in here. If we can complete this next year, you're gonna save $6,000 worth of propane, folks. Pay for itself pretty quick.
Yeah, we went from 9,000 in 2014 to so far this year, 1,900 in propane.
And that's all because of these units that we put in down the hall. I'd like to see the rest of the building done. We have talked and how they got some budget figures, but we need to get, take a look at it. I would recommend that we complete the building with the same heaters. It's part of her budget there. I'd also like to make a recommendation at the end of the year when you have your surplus left over, like we've done before and paid for these up here. We did not need to draw down the amount of money out of our capital reserve.
Yeah.
We had surplus in our general fund. It was transferred to capital reserve before.
To pay
I'd
for
like
it.
to earmark in our budget this year that, and ask for permission tonight for her to apply it in her budget, that we complete this in the unit in here, and to be earmarked money out of capital reserve, what our capital reserve building was always wanted here for this building and for the work that needs to be done in it. And you're gonna have a roof someday, and et cetera. And so I'd like to ask for the board to consider, make a motion, and allow her to prepare that for it. And the price, Helen, for the rest of the building is?
13,000 even.
13,000.
We're getting a $900 discount if we do all the 4 last ones at
And
one
they're done.
time.
They're
And
done.
Get out of the propane business.
Is that your motion? Chairman?
Yeah, I'll put that in the form of a motion.
I second the motion.
Okay, motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. The other issue is in regard to doing that, we have, as they service these units up in the roof, there's an awful lot of things up there that they want to do, thousands of dollars of repairs and expense to put these in up here. It's time to get away from them, get something in here that works and upgrade it. They're over 25 years old.
Yes, and this will also cut down money on our maintenance with,
But the
Comfort
Comfort
Tech.
Tech, yeah.
They would still need some type of inspection for the heating unit down in the garage, but that's
That's
minor.
the only thing that we'd have down there then. And that would put a complete new system in this building here that's good for many years, we hope.
Yeah.
Okay?
Andrew,
Yes?
wonder
talk about replacing windows one time?
We did,
I know in the wintertime, I'd rather stay over there than.
we're gonna,
That's okay,
and that's
we
in
don't-
my
we don't
budget for
mind.
this year?
Down the hall.
Sit wherever you want, yeah.
No.
Waste in there in the winter.
No, they need replaced. I need to go out on quote on
I
that.
thought we talked about that for.
Yeah.
We did, and it got tabled, and it's just never been brought back up. But it does need to be done.
Well, I'll make a motion there that we allow Helen to put out for quotes for that window so that it's replaced over there. I don't know why that got set back, Helen.
Question on tilt-in windows versus
What's that?
the type of window,
Type of window?
Yeah. so.
I second.
Okay, motion made with second. All those in favor, give their consent by saying aye. Ayes have it. So ordered. Anything else, Helen?
None on me.
Okay. Engineers report, Max.
I have nothing additional beyond what we talked about.
Okay. Solicitor report.
Okay.
We have the judicial sale
There's
there.
a,
which is-
yes, he signed for this judicial sale, we just have to agree to it or not. There's 3 properties in Penn Township that's been up for sheriff's sale and has not sold, and now they want to do these. Where are we here? Yeah, this is judicial. One's down in the 1300 block of State Road. One is 69 South Main Street, and the other is the 2100 block of State Road. We just have to agree to do this, that's all.
Okay, Rich,
He's the one who sent it to me.
he sent it to you, okay, yes. Okay. I'll make a motion that we agree to Solicitor Wagner's recommendation on there for the judicial sale.
Mhm.
I second the motion.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so.
Okay.
There is one of those parcels there, what, $800, Helen?
Yeah, $800
We
is
get
the,
$450 taxes off it, but I don't know what one would do with it. It's only a .13 acre.
yeah.
No well, no sewerage, no nothing. Used to be a building on it. Knew the people that lived in it, but it's been long gone.
Yeah. Just for your information, Cece. If these go out and they get sold, all liens are gone. And the one on Main Street has some of the authorities.
I think that 1300 State Road is also going to.
Let me see if you got a lien or not on that one. No, they found, nothing found on that one. I think that is that's only $956. That's what their upset price is. I don't think that one has any buildings on it.
Okay, then that's,
I'll make sure you guys get a copy of this.
okay, because there's a property very close to that the municipal authority is involved with.
This one here.
Yeah,
This is which one?
yeah.
Thank you.
I just don't want to say the names.
No. Thank you.
Okay. Police report.
All right, you have a copy of my report there. We did hire the 2 officers that were approved last month, and they're on the street and working. Both of them have previous experience, so one was hard to train as the non-experienced officers. Others are leaving. We have, they're waiting for employment at other, to be actually hired at other agencies, full-time with benefits.
Chief, can you refresh my memory, what were the name of the 2 individuals we hired?
Sheets and Schaefer.
That's right.
No relation to Sheets.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he says the same thing. Also, we have our aggressive driving grant, which would, puts an extra officer down working for the speed and any type of aggressive driving activities on state roads down there. Is that it?
Okay. Permit report.
You have it.
Okay.
Nothing
Three on
major on them,
there? Nothing
no.
on here? Okay. Correspondence, Perry County Crime Stoppers, there we got a letter from them.
Yeah, they are requesting a donation. I checked the budget, and in our non-governmental contribution, we still have $150 left in that. This is with the Facebook page and all that with the Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, most of the townships either 250 to 500, but, and we do post all our wanted people on there, and we do get a lot of responses from them. They do really well. We have meetings just about every quarter, and then we go over any of the awards that go out, so they do have expenses. And Perry County Fair, they set up a booth and everything too for raising money. And also for posting any wanted people while they're up there too.
You say there's 150 remaining?
Yeah, in that account. And I don't know if that could come out of your guys', your advertisement and publication? I don't know.
Yeah, we might be able to take money out of that because they do they advertise our wanted people.
Well, would there be any others that we're likely to receive before the end of the year?
No.
No.
No, if the police were, if the fire police were gonna ask, they'd already asked by now. We might get something to ask to put into the budget later on, but that's it.
I move we donate $75 to Perry County Crime Stoppers.
Motion made, do I hear a second? Okay, what did you say, Pickles, that the other municipalities donate?
Anywhere from $250 to $500. Marysville and Wheatfield both gave $500 from what I recall this last time around.
I withdraw the motion.
I have 150
You have
in mind.
150.
In mind.
We did 150.
No, you did
To match
50.
150.
Yeah, that we could,
This police
yeah, we'll match
department
it
match.
out of ours, sure.
And then that way we get a donation of 300 total, but between.
Okay.
So I make the motion that $150 from
Not
the
the
line
council,
item.
the office budget.
Okay. And that the police department will match that, so total of 300.
Okay.
Question on the motion. Can we force the police department to match our supervisor's donation?
Well, they just willingly did it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you said you would?
Yeah.
I beg your pardon.
And then that way you just send one check from.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian, if they want a job, they got a match. Okay, okay, motion made, do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, motion made with a second, all those in favor give their consent by saying aye. Ayes have it, so ordered, okay, old business.
Oh, no, we got Perry County, you're looking on the other agenda, the draft. You're looking on the draft agenda. Perry County Planning Commission,
Should give you 2 or 3 of them.
yeah, I'll make sure you get all the new ones. This is mid-year offering of having the county do local planning assistance program. Still $1,000 for that.
Okay.
And they also gave us a digital copy of the sub-regional comprehensive plan on disc. So one is just telling you we got that plan on disc, and part of it is, do you want to do this? In January, you said no, but they're coming around the mid-year.
What is the wish of the board? Is there a change of mind? We've never been involved before.
Only that one time when we
One
were
time.
looking at doing the, what it was. Can't remember which one it was. It wasn't the comp plan.
Because we, and.
We thought we would use them and we
Well,
didn't.
yeah, we thought we'd use them, we never used them.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we table it to next meeting, because I'd like to look into it a little further.
Sure.
Okay. Motion made, I'll second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered. Appalachian Trail.
This was tabled from last month. These are mini grants. It has to help the Appalachian Trail and the Kittatinny Ridge. And there's only certain municipalities, a municipality that has to have the trail come through it to be eligible for these grants.
Any thoughts from the board since it was tabled for the last one?
They're just asking us to participate in the grant, rest of the grant.
We would have to have some type of project to get the grant. It says, such projects include amending the comp plan to recognize the Appalachian Trail, conducting environmental resource inventory, mapping the municipality's natural, scenic, and cultural resources in relation to the trail, forming an environmental advisory council to advise them on the range of resources impacts associated.
Well, do we currently manage as a township any of the trail?
No. No.
You can't even get close to anything like that. They don't allow it. Huh?
Let them take care of their own.
Let them take care of the road, Jesse, I agree 100%. They come out across the top of the mountain up there, we sit here and talk about Porta Johns, walk that barrier that they got on either side of it. There's no Porta Johns up there, their personal and sanitary stuff scattered all the way out across the top of the mountain. And they taken our flag down over here on the point of the mountain because it was on the Appalachian Trail. Let them take care of their own. I got a problem with what they do here. You can't touch it. They just come in. They rule you and the ground. Yes, sir. I may as well get it off my chest. We come up over the point of the rye, comes out across the top, drops down. That's all we got involved with it, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know who did it down there where they brought the trail down, but they come along and I got heartburn about it. They filled our ditch full of rocks, they made steps down there. They just come in and do it. You can't stop them either. We're the ones that had to mow, work around it, and get the water down the ditch. Because of it. I make a motion that we don't involve ourselves with it at all.
You don't need a motion for that.
We're not involved, we're done.
Okay.
That's my take on it. Okay.
We already took care of the Porta John question.
Okay, news business?
Newsletter, that time of year.
Okay, Helen?
Please get me any articles by the 13th.
Mhm.
Craig? Yeah. Any things you got going on you want to put in the newsletter or anything like that? Okay, you know, dinners, whatever.
Okay.
Helen, you say by August 13th?
Yes.
I think that's a
They've already gotten a memo, but yeah. And that's all I have.
Okay. Any other business? I make a motion, we adjourn.
Yes.
Motion made with the second. All those in favor, give it a saying aye.